There is a process in biology. It is called metamorphosis. This is a process where insects metamorphose from one form of life to another one, from egg to caterpillar to pupa to mature butterfly, in the case of butterflies. But other insects also metamorphose in different ways. In the same way, all of you must know that society, if it is to remain healthy, must metamorphose. Europe has metamorphosed. If, for instance, you go to the time of the French Revolution, 1789, which some of you must have studied, you will see that at that time, France and Europe was divided into 4 social classes. Class number 1 were the feudalists. Feudalists is a social group who live in a certain way and are sustained by taking rent from the tenants. That's how the feudalists live. The feudalists lived by taking rent from the peasants who were staying on their land. Then the second group were, in the French language, they were calling them the bourgeoisie, or the middle class. Now, the middle class were living on different diet. They were being sustained by profit. Profit is the difference between the cost of a product, what it takes you to produce a product, and the price at which you sell that product. The difference is called profit. Now, the bourgeoisie live on profits. If they don't make profits, they will decline as bourgeoisie and become something else. Now, at that time, the third class, which was emerging, was the industrial working class. In the French language, they were called the proletariat. Those ones depended on wages. They don't depend on profit because they are not owners of means of production, but they depend on selling their labor and being paid for that labor. Then the final group were the peasants. These were the people who were on the land, and those ones depended on their sweat minus what the landlords took. That's how the society was organized in France in 1789. If you go to France now, you'll not find some of those groups there. They are no longer there. The feudalists are no longer there. The peasants are no longer there. the society has metamorphosed. The French society is now comprised of the middle class and the skilled working class. That is the metamorphosis that has taken place in Europe. Now, the problem of Africa, which you must address, I hope when you talk of preserving culture, you also do not include preserving the peasants. Because if that's what you are talking about, then you need to rethink what you are talking about. So therefore, the society must metamorphose. But what the minister was saying, the process of metamorphosis must be done independently, not depending on exactly how the other one did it. You must not do it in the same way. No. The metamorphosis must be there, but it should be done independently according to the concrete conditions of each society. But the metamorphosis must be there. Because sometimes there's confusion on that. Some people think that preserving means preserving underdevelopment. No, the society must change so that we have a new, modern structure of society. Now, coming back to the strategic bottlenecks, the first one, which I pointed out in this booklet, was ideological disorientation. In your presentation of yesterday by Ms. Mazimpaka, you pointed out that there should be a generational partnership. That's ordinary common sense. That the old must cooperate with the young and the young must cooperate with the old. And you have avoided what I've been observing in some of the meetings in the African Union. Some of the youth have been confusing biology with ideology. You hear them saying, we are young, we are young, we are young, we are young. Okay, you are young, so what? You may be young biologically, but old ideologically. So what use will you do for us? Because you can have a young person with archaic ideas, with ideas which are totally out of fashion. So it's not, yes, the biology is there, because of course you have got a longer time to stay here on earth. The old men and women will go to heaven much faster than you. That is if you look after yourself very well. But the ideas are ideas. If you have got wrong ideas, whether you are young or old, they are wrong ideas. If you have got right ideas, it doesn't matter whether you are young or old, they are useful ideas. Now, the minister from Brazzaville talked of the chaos in some parts of the continent, the wars, the terrorism. Wars are divided in two categories. Some wars are described as just wars. You cannot stand and say all wars are bad. No. Some of the wars are just wars. They are just